as opposed to like, just the freaking insane enchants that you were getting on your weapons
so
before.
the enchants are gone then. This
Yeah.
replaces that, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think most
They
people
were,
expected.
they were a little bit much on the power creep axis. It was kind of just a bit crazy, but I wouldn't say that we won't see some sort of weapon enchant system back in the future.
Yeah.
And
Played
we're a
with the
bit
idea
more
before.
regulated and stuff like that, but because there's room for that, there's design space for that, but we never know what form. But I like that Settlers is where you go to get your alternate passive tree stuff. For changing masteries and changing nodes. I like that as the reward.
It was a pretty funny reveal of the live reveal of the recombination changes. And everyone's like, "Oh no, you did it! You got rid of the old one and replaced it with this." But
I
then
know,
obviously the old one's still there.
we're here seeing all of the L's, and then I'm like, don't worry, they'll come back. They'll come back. It's all right.
It was very entertaining from our perspective.
So that's all right. And then all of a sudden, L's L, www, saved. I love it. I very thoroughly enjoy
intentional,
watching
but,
chat. Yeah.
So you kept the old version of recombination. Is that changed or nerfed in any way, or is that just as it was?
The old way, I can't speak to that with an absolute certainty. And
What do you mean, can't what?
One of the main designers dealing with that. But I did say like we should pretty much keep it the same.
Yep.
And if there is a change, it needs to be like very much justified. It's not like
Yeah.
people like it for a reason. Like keeping it alongside the other one and then gutting it is obviously not
Yeah.
not the play. You may as well have not kept it at that point. So. Yeah, it was certainly the intention.
So which
that we
one
keep
is it, Mark?
It's still a favorite. Like, if anything, I would be okay with making things more expensive, so it's a little bit harder to use at the top end when you're doing like the very. I think that is maybe the thing we concluded when you're interacting with a lot of the really special modifiers that you normally can't get on items. We're making it a bit more expensive.
Okay.
But I don't think that was a huge constraint anyway,
Not a
unless you
barrier
were
for the people doing
unless
it
you were
usually.
going to it. Yeah. Sure. So, I would prefer to do something like that instead of nerfing the power of it at this point. And I'm like 99% sure we didn't nerf the actual functionality of it. But
Yep.
I'll verify, and if it is the case, I will let the community know afterwards.
Okay. On the topic of gold, an ongoing thing has been that gold is, very present from the core Atlas mechanics and certain things, but other things just literally don't drop it. You do Blight or whatever, and you just don't get gold, or Sanctum just doesn't get gold. That's obviously a separate topic, but is this something that has been normalized across the game? Do you want players to be in a position where they can't use it?
We are making some adjustments. So, when we did that, obviously we went through the entire game, of which there is a lot, and specifically we're like, do this, too much gold, lower, and we had penalties and increases all over the place, and a bunch of stuff was too low. Some stuff is, and I wouldn't say it's too high. It was actually probably relatively nice mostly. There was just a bunch of stuff that's just dead. And it is our intention for that to not be the case. So we do want to increase those. I don't know how much they'll necessarily increase by, but it is something that is on our radar 100%. So
Yeah, okay, great. Because
Heist is a good example.
I think the most compelling argument I heard in favor of making sure that those had access to gold was for the player
That
who
sounds
wanted
like they
fucking
gave
just
gold
that.
to
They
Satan
just
to
want
me.
device. They
100%.
can't currency exchange, right? That's the biggest problem.
100%. It isn't. It is just like let's say it is already a relatively divisive league, and then also the gold sucks. It's easy to perceive that as dead. So
Yeah.
It look, there are some things where we maybe make an intentional decision because they are like too rewarding to be like it's not a place you're going to get a lot of gold, Sanctum, and then when we're like, okay,
Wait, what?
we'll make some changes too. But then you have the things like Heist, where I would say it doesn't really isn't that regard, and it's just like, why is the gold bad here? And it's like, look, we just missed the mark. So
Yeah. Well, I guess since we brought it up, the Anti-Sanctum Alliance has been constantly messaging me, asking about, whether Sanctum's going to see any changes in terms of just kind of how much
Ain't
more
no
currency
way.
it prints early league for like a low investment for like really knowledgeable players, giving them such a massive advantage over less ones. Obviously, that's always the case, but it seems to a severe magnitude.
I don't have the exact changes because they're
Wait,
we're
ain't no
ongoing
way.
today or Monday. But which I know seems crazy. So they're not like massive grand rework, but at least for now we're certainly going to give it less of the edge it has. I don't exactly know
You guys
what
actually
form, but
got
it's
it.
not going to have. It's not just going to be untouched. In terms of like a grander future, like I would like to shift away from it just being pure regular currency and move into something where it has its own item and own reward mechanic that has some sort of interaction with something. Like almost every league has something special, and that one is just like, obviously it's got a relic
rich.
meta system, but it's just like, here's some uniques, here's a different style of gameplay, but just like, here's all the currency.
Yeah.
So yeah, then it becomes very quantifiably better or worse than just like core game. And obviously very, very early, it's very strong, and then, maybe juicing catches up, but then, well, it obviously gets a little bit crazy in different axes, you get a lot more uniques, a lot more different things. But it's still, it's just that there's very easily quantifiable thing where it's like a very good strategy if you know what you're doing, especially very early on, as you're saying.
Yeah.
But it needs its own thing. It 100% needs its own thing. So, but at least for now, it doesn't have to be as good as it is for how easy it is to do so. So we'll make some changes. I just don't know the exact specifics. And as a result, they won't be in the patch notes today. It will be in another coming soon section because it is.
Expansions.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, again, I'm not. Why would we not stop? Why would we stop developing now? We have another
week before, it's like, what are we